From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Shop Purple's Black Friday sale and save up to $800 on a mattress and base. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
Blue barrels. You'll see these too on your way in and out of the store. The food inside are all non-perishable food items. They will go directly to thousands of families in need this holiday season. The food is going straight to Ozarks Food Harvest. They pack it up and serve the 28 counties in Southwest Missouri at area food banks. So the food that you gather here will go directly to families' plates, and it could be your neighbor. You can also give money by rounding up at the register when you stop by a Hy-Vee this holiday season, and there are scan to donate options too if you see one of the QR codes around the stores or even on your screen as we're telling you about our annual food drive. Again, Ozarks Food Harvest is meeting quite a need right now. We know it's tough times for a lot of people that might struggle to put food on their tables this holiday season. We do this every year and have been able to raise thousands of dollars and thousands of pounds of food to a great charity like Ozarks Food Harvest. So you can still come out and see me for a little bit tonight, and we'll be out here several weeks through the rest of the month of November and December. And also scan to donate on your screen or go to ozarksfirst.com or Ozarks Food Harvest. We'll send it back to you, Mike.
Always so great to give. Thank you, Bailey. And you can also donate to the Putting the Ozarks Food Harvest Drive by scanning the QR code on your screen, and that will take you to the Ozarks Food Harvest website. Just a reminder for you, all proceeds will be going directly to that agency to help them keep their shelves full. And as Bailey just mentioned, the need is pretty great out there. Again, each dollar provides 4 meals for those in need. That campaign runs through December 31st. And time now for our question of the day, and that is, what time do you start your Thanksgiving dinner? There are several time options to choose from. Noon and 1 p.m. seems to be the popular ones right there. Maybe some 2 p.m. ones there as well. Go ahead and scan that QR code or go to our website, ozarksfirst.com/vote. Let us know what you think, and we'll have that final number for you in just a little bit. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to rebound from a tough divisional loss last Sunday. They'll be hosting the Indianapolis Colts at Arrowhead this coming weekend. Offensive tackle Josh Simmons is breaking his silence on his 4-game absence. He says he's thankful for the team's support, but didn't give a reason. Head coach Andy Reid says he's impressed with Simmons coming back and not missing a beat.
Yeah, listen, I mean, for being away for a few weeks there, I thought he did a nice job. He got cleaned up a couple things, with the penalties and that. But his effort, his attitude and everything was great.
And the Chiefs are facing the Indianapolis Colts Sunday afternoon. The Colts have only lost 2 games so far this season. Still ahead, we are serving the Ozarks tonight and looking at how one local group is helping prepare women for future financial success. After this.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Shop Purple's Black Friday sale and save up to $800 on a mattress and base. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Well, in Carthage, the completion of a home renovation project is a big cause for celebration. The group Vision Carthage has a program where its members restore homes in that city at no cost to the homeowners. Their purpose is to continue beautifying Carthage. This latest project, completed on Wednesday, was fixing up a home that was built way back in 1946 and is currently the home of the Gomez Cortez family.
For his family, it means a lot because this is something that God has blessed them with, this roof, and now his kids and family can enjoy a better life. Basically, a lot of the work was done on behalf of our Hispanic community, so this is something that brought our culture together for this big effort.
Now, what a transformation there. Vision Carthage also received a $5,000 donation for the home restoration program. Since 2016, the group has restored more than 65 homes. Ozarks First and our parent company, Nexstar Media Group, are honoring women that make a positive difference every day. 125 extraordinary women from around the country will be selected for their self-achievement and community impact. They'll be honored in Nashville, where one woman will be named Nexstar's Remarkable Woman of the Year. To nominate someone, you can scan the QR code on your screen, and that nomination period ends on December the 19th.
And now, Serving the Ozarks, sponsored by NAV Restoration and Roofing and by Patriot Heat and Air.
And in this week's Serving the Ozarks, we're highlighting the group Women in Need of the Ozarks. They provide financial services for single moms all across Southwest Missouri. Here's Angela Luna with more on that tonight.
Hardships can throw anyone off on any given day, but as a single mother, it can be even more difficult to bounce back.
You know, living in survival mode is not how you want to be. So if we can take that one lady out of survival and put her into thriving, I feel like we've accomplished our mission.
Women in Need of the Ozarks provides a one-time financial gift to help assist hardworking single women. For 22 years, WIN has been helping women get back on their feet, and they're funded through their many different events like their bake sale, plus they have meet and greets where volunteers and women in need can bond. Their goal is to make them feel comfortable and even welcome them to give back in the future.
Somebody might be going through a divorce and not have a lot of friends, and they see it, or somebody recommends them. The next thing you know, they're all hands in with us.
It can be intimidating to ask for help. Longtime volunteer Teresa Suda was nervous at first, but wants women to know they're not alone and that Women in Need is there to lift you up.
Don't give up. And there are people out there who genuinely care. And you can turn right back around and get back full circle, even if it feels like you're being needy for the moment. There's still hope, and that's what Women in Need is.
If you'd like to volunteer or in need of assistance, we have a link on our website. Reporting in Springfield, Angela Luna, Ozarks First.
Serving the Ozarks, sponsored by NAV Restoration and Roofing and by Patriot Heat and Air.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready! We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
You deserve a news network that roots for America. News Nation is bringing more Americans together with facts, balance, and respect for all of us. See why America's fastest growing cable network is News Nation.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's and master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Straight ahead here on your news at 9, local Starbucks employees taking to the picket line. What we know so far about the strike that could impact your morning coffee run. And a baby born in the Springfield Buc-ee's parking lot. We're hearing tonight from the mom and dad about the moment they realized they'd be delivering that baby for themselves. And then later.
And America is actually stronger than it's ever been before.
The president's signature on the Epstein Files bill has started a 30-day clock. What could be released and what the Attorney General is saying about those next steps. Your news at 9 starts right now.
This is Ozarks First News at 9.
We'll begin tonight with the building boom in Southwest Springfield. Over the past few years, a lot of new businesses have been built and several more are planned, all centering around a brand new Target development going on. Thanks for joining us here for your news at 9. I'm Mike Landis. Now, this right here is actually video of a construction project on Division Street, quite a ways from the area we're talking about tonight. That is where we are going to find Ozarks First Michael McLaughlin live on West Sunshine to explain more about what people have been seeing in the area there right around Sunshine and West Bypass. Michael.
Right, so I'm live near the Dutch Bros Coffee in Springfield. This is marking the first one in the city, and this is just a growing trend of growing development near West Bypass and West Sunshine Street. Now, this isn't the only spot to open this month. Just today, Wendy's opened a new location nearby. It will join the new Jersey Mike's, Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, and Olive Garden, all of which open this year. Across from that is a larger center with various stores like Ross, Petco, Five Below, and the newer edition of Michael's in 2024. A Target is also planned to be developed as a part of the new Sunshine Town Center. Financial institution Blue Current is also building a new credit union nearby. All of these restaurants and stores have caused the area to see a larger presence of construction in a place that previously saw little growth compared to other parts of town. This continued development is coinciding with a similar growth in neighboring city, Republic. And as for that new Target, that's nearing completion and is expected to be done in the next couple months. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Michael McLaughlin, Ozarks First.
Thank you, Michael. Meantime, if you're traveling to work tomorrow, you may notice a new wave of unionized Starbucks baristas on the picket lines for a fair union contract here in Springfield. Those union members on the Battlefield Road location are now part of 95 stores nationwide in 65 cities that are joining the so-called Red Cup Rebellion with over 2,000 members in a nationwide labor strike.
The baristas behind the scenes are incredibly overworked and understaffed every single day. We are working with skeleton crews of 3 partners when there are tons and tons of drinks rolling through. We deserve better, and Starbucks can give us better.
Well, the store remains open during the strike. Now, union members say negotiations with Starbucks management officials have stalled out since last year. Ozarks First also spoke with a company spokesperson regarding that strike. We have their statement on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Turning now to our first forecast here at 9:03 with a live look over the skies of downtown Springfield. Foggy in some areas tonight, certainly kind of a nasty fall night with quite a bit of rain falling. We're going to check in with Jamie. And Jamie, it should feel and look like this time of the fall months, but we are needing the rain, and it sounds like even more is on the way for us.
We do need the rain. I mean, we've gone almost through the entire month of November so far without very little in the way of rainfall. I mean, we had 1/100th the first day of the month, and since then, nothing really. We're getting some rain today and tonight. Looks like rain covering much of the area, pockets of it at least. One to the north now, getting in areas that didn't have rain earlier. We've got a break here in the Springfield area, but there's more rain off to the south and southwest. And you hit on the fog issue. We are finding pockets where visibilities have dropped below a mile, Branson being one of those locations. 1 mile visibilities in Camdenton and Harrison. And a dense fog advisory has been issued for those areas to the north, east, and south of Springfield. Temperatures sitting at 60. Those aren't going to change very much. Looking at our forecast for Friday, looks like we get most of the rain out of the area by sunrise, but it's still going to be damp and there could be some mist. Clouds will give way to some sunshine, at least for southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. We'll also find highs in the upper 60s and 70s. Meanwhile, to the north, I think north of Highway 54, clouds will persist along with a chance for showers. And it looks like a gloomy start to our upcoming weekend before we get back to some more sunshine. I'll have more on that coming up. Mike?
I think part of it is we're all being crammed together. You combine that with stressed passengers, delays, cancellations, and it's a recipe for disaster.
Well, from brawls at baggage claims to unruly passengers, the skies have gotten a lot less friendly over the years, and the data is proving it with a 400% increase in flight outbursts since 2019 and over 13,000 passenger incidents since 2021. It's a recipe Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is hoping to change by launching a new civility campaign titled "The Golden Age of Travel Starts With You."
Help people out, be in a good mood, dress up, bring civility back to travel, and I think everyone's experience is going to be that much better.
And Thanksgiving week will be a major test, with AAA expecting more than 6 million people to take to the skies over the holidays.
It's going to be fun. On her birth certificate, it's going to say location, the Buc-ee's.
Well, tonight we're meeting a Marshfield couple with an unforgettable birth story after their little one was delivered in the parking lot of a Buc-ee's right here in Springfield. Nathan and Jenna Birdsong live out in rural Webster County. And when contractions started for Mom last Friday, they made their trek to Cox South Hospital, or at least tried to. But when Mom's contractions started to intensify and her water broke, they knew they weren't going to quite make it to the hospital. So that's when they pulled off of I-44 into Buc-ee's parking lot, and within minutes, baby Elena Grace Birdsong was born right there in the parking lot at 3:16 a.m.
She looked at me and said, "We need to call 911. I was like, "Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it." I was like, "We're going to end up at Buc-ee's. That's the next exit up here." By the time I got on the off-ramp, she transitioned me, the dispatcher, to a Mercy representative so I could start taking account for all the her giving advice for the birth.
You had to hear Dad explain how he was coached by a medical expert over the phone and hear them reflecting on that extraordinary moment. You can check out the full conversation we had earlier today on OzarksFirst.com with Mom and Dad. We have more news to share with you, so don't forget to follow us on social media. You can see the apps right there: X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Lots of fun videos and interactive stories and need-to-know news from our communities. You can also download our Ozarks First news and weather apps. Coming up, former Vice President Dick Cheney is laid to rest. We'll look at the funeral held today and a speech given from a former president. And then later.
That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law.
A clip now going viral of Democratic lawmakers instructing the military to defy unlawful orders, according to the Trump administration, how it's drawing the attention of the White House.
And right now it's kind of gloomy outside. We've got areas of fog, and a dense fog advisory has been issued for areas, especially to the east of Springfield. Fog could be an issue that we see again Saturday morning and Sunday morning. A look at that in your forecast coming up.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
News Nation is here to give you all sides of every story, without the shouting, without the bias, without the division.
News Nation's not going anywhere.
See why America's fastest growing cable network is News Nation.
Well, and now we wait. President Trump has signed that bill forcing the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. The Attorney General now has 30 days to comply with that, but as Doug Luzada reports, this may not be the end of that debate.
The Attorney General says she will follow the law, but not everything here is black and white.
And America is actually stronger than it's ever been before.
President Trump yesterday at an investment forum talking about what he really wants to focus on now, the economy. And last night, away from the cameras, he signed the bill that he saw as a clear distraction. The order from Congress for the Justice Department to release nearly all it has on the late, disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. And Congress passed it easily with bipartisan support, but the president suggested Democrats will regret it. Posting on Truth Social last night, this latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats just as all of the rest have. And Epstein, accused of sex trafficking and abusing minors before his death, had ties with both Democrats and Republicans, including the president.
We will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Attorney General Pam Bondi only saying she will follow the law, but she may redact or refuse to turn over some documents, citing ongoing investigations.
We are not done. No way.
Democrats promise to keep pressing for the release. Republicans say Democrats sat on those files for years.
The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years.
The Biden administration could have released them, just as the Trump administration could have, without this intervention from Congress. In Washington, Doug Luzada, Fox News.
Well, some former presidents and vice presidents gathering in Washington today to remember former Vice President Dick Cheney. Now inside the packed Washington National Cathedral, family, friends, and former leaders from both political parties gathered to pay tribute to Cheney. Former President George W. Bush remembered Cheney as his best choice to be vice president.
After 4 years of seeing how he treated people, how he carried responsibility, how he handled pressure and took the hits, I arrived back at the conclusion that they do not come any better than Dick Cheney.
We're going to head to break here at 9:13. Look how foggy it is out there on US 65 in Ozark as this weather system continues to move across, providing plenty of much needed rain for us. Jamie's going to let us know how much longer we can expect these showers to last. Stay with us.
News Nation is bringing more Americans together.
The appetite is greater than it has ever been for perspective, for understanding, and for information that they can not just trust, but use.
News Nation. News for all Americans.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Best Reviews has an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
We'll kick things off with a live look on our tower cam, our Salisbury tower cam. And I wanted to show this just because we are socked in, not at the surface. This camera sits on our tower here at the TV station. It's about 180 feet off the ground, but the clouds above the surface have built down enough where that camera is now in the clouds. And that's what we're seeing in other parts of the Ozarks. Those clouds are building down enough, causing lower visibilities at the surface in some areas. From those clouds, we've gotten some wet weather. It started up late last night. It's been on and off throughout the day today. We haven't seen that much in Springfield, 1/3 of an inch, but that's a lot more than we saw the rest of the month. Only 1/100th, and that was back on the 1st. This is the first widespread significant rainfall our area has had since the last week of October. And some areas got buckets of rain. In Joplin, almost 2 inches of rainfall. West Plains reporting just shy of an inch. And you can see these stripes of yellow and orange and even red. And that's where we're getting totals of maybe 2 to say 3.5 inches of rainfall, and more to be had. We still have rain spreading in from the southwest. We've got rain also now moving back into our northern counties. Looking further south, you can see we've got this ribbon of rain and thunderstorm activity extending down into eastern Texas. The core of the storm now making its way into the Texas Panhandle, and out ahead of it, we've got this fire hose of rain pointed right at the Ozarks. And it looks like it'll continue to be that way throughout tonight, but it will be shifting east by Friday, and that will take most of the wet weather with it. Drier air, in fact, will be working in on the underside of this storm during the morning hours on Friday, and that will open the door for some sunshine, at least across southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. Looking at our hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of the night tonight, again, on and off rain. Most of it will be light. I can't rule out, maybe a moderate burst of rain or two, and maybe even a rumble of thunder, especially across northern Arkansas, but that would be it. Looks like by 7 o'clock in the morning, the steady rains have shifted up into central Missouri. And for most of us, we're just going to wake up to cloudy skies and maybe some fog and some mist. That will give way, I think, across southern Missouri and northern Arkansas to some sunshine. It probably will be a gradual process. We'll start poking holes in the clouds by late morning, and then in the afternoon, we may find partly cloudy skies over much of southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. But once you get to about Highway 54 and north of Highway 54, that's where I think the clouds are just going to hang on. Rainfall from here on out, we'll pick up maybe another 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch of rain. Temperatures will hold steady tonight. Coolest readings to the north. This is where we'll find highs. And I think north of Highway 54, we could have pockets in there that don't even make it above 60. But here across southern Missouri, I think upper 60s to low 70s, and then across northern Arkansas in the low to mid 70s. Now, Friday night, those clouds to the north will build back to the south, along with some fog. And I think we're going to find low clouds, some fog, and some mist to start the day on Saturday. Clouds will be slow to clear out from north to south during the day. That's going to have an impact on temperatures, likely keeping readings in the 50s throughout the day, maybe mid to upper 50s for highs. And then on Sunday, morning fog again. But I do expect us to break into mostly sunny conditions with highs in the mid 60s. So the pick day of the weekend, if you got some outdoor activities, maybe you want to put up those Christmas lights. I think Sunday is the day to do it. After Sunday, another rainstorm coming through the area on Monday, followed by colder weather just in time for Turkey Day.
Yeah, good idea to hang those Christmas lights, because I'm sure by next weekend, the way things are looking, it's going to seem more like Christmas.
And I do this every year. It's like, we get a nice Saturday and I'm like, I better do it today, while the weather's nice. And then I don't, because the weather's nice and you want to do other stuff. And then I'm putting up Christmas stuff in the cold.
Bundle up. All right, thanks, Jamie. This brings us to our question of the day, and it has to do with Thanksgiving itself. What time do you start your Thanksgiving dinner? All day, there's the options that people have been choosing. 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. seem like the popular choices, giving folks plenty of chance to sleep in and get ready for that big Thanksgiving dinner. Go ahead and scan that QR code or go to our website, ozarksfirst.com. Let us know what you think there, and we'll have those final results for you in just a little bit. Well, this season, we're putting the Ozarks first, and we could use your help doing so. At Springfield's Hy-Vee locations, you can find donation barrels and scan-to-donate options to help local families in need this holiday season. And every dollar donated provides 4 meals, with all proceeds going directly to Ozarks Food Harvest. You can also scan the barcode that you see right there on your screen now to donate. And Ozarks First and our parent company, Nexstar, are wanting to honor women that make a positive difference in our community. To nominate someone that you know, just scan the QR code on your screen or head to our website. Winners will be heading to Nashville, where one will be named Nexstar's Remarkable Woman of the Year. That winner will be awarded a $25,000 donation to the nonprofit of their choice. Still ahead here tonight, escalating tensions in the Middle East as Israeli forces strikes continue, while concerns are growing along the border with Lebanon now.
Coming up tomorrow after daybreak on Unscripted, Angela Hudson will join us to create another delicious dish made with items found at Lisa V's Food Pantry.
And we'll visit with TV star Tori Spelling about how her and her daughter are helping others with a new treatment for those living with severe eczema. See you bright and early tomorrow morning after daybreak.
You deserve a news network that roots for America. News Nation is bringing more Americans together with facts, balance, and respect for all of us. See why America's fastest growing cable network is News Nation.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is attempting to ease tensions with the U.S. while the Trump administration continues its war on drug cartels as Operation Southern Spear continues. Now, according to a New York Times report, President Trump has also given his approval for the CIA to carry out covert operations there in Venezuela after negotiations with the country's government broke down.
Maduro will have very little choice but to either drift away into the peacetime of his existence or to really accede to what President Trump wants to do.
And this week, the State Department moved to designate Venezuela's drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations, potentially opening up the door for strikes inside Venezuela. Well, tensions keep rising across the Middle East in the aftermath of new Israeli strikes in portions of the Gaza Strip and in Lebanon. Meanwhile, concerns are growing among Israelis living along the border with Lebanon. Though the ceasefire between the two is holding, new footage is showing Israel destroying several Hezbollah weapons storage sites.
We know that unless something will change rapidly in Lebanon and the government will take over and will disarm Hezbollah, then the war will come back here, because otherwise no one will stop them, and they keep on thinking about how to destroy Israel.
And this comes as Israel continues building a wall along the border with Lebanon, hoping it'll ward off any potential future attacks. Now for an update on that UPS plane that crashed in Louisville earlier this month, killing 14 people. Investigators say the plane had cracks in the left wing's engine mount. Released photos of the engine right there flying off during takeoff. The NTSB says the plane needed to complete 7,000 more flights before those parts would have been due for inspection. Still ahead in our second half hour here tonight, as the days get shorter, debate over daylight saving time is back on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are standing, and we'll also see if we'll be needing to turn back our clocks next year when your news at 9 returns. And welcome back here at 9:30. I'm Mike Landis. Let's take a look here at some of the big stories we're working on for you tonight. First up, hundreds of mourners paying respects at the private funeral of former Vice President Dick Cheney. Former Presidents George W. Bush and Joe Biden sitting beside former Vice Presidents Kamala Harris, Mike Pence, Al Gore, and Dan Quayle for that service. Cheney, who died back on November 3rd at the age of 84, received full military honors at the service. Cheney served as the 46th Vice President of the U.S. Last night, President Trump signed the bill forcing the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. And now the Justice Department has 30 days to comply, but some say the debate will continue. It comes after Attorney General Pam Bondi says she will follow the law, but she may redact or refuse to turn over some documents citing ongoing investigations. And popular coffee chain Starbucks is facing protests in 65 cities across the nation. This is dubbed the Red Cup Rebellion, and it's organized by union members of Starbucks Workers United. They're demanding better pay and improved work conditions. Here in Springfield, several members of Starbucks on Battlefield Road are participating in this. The store does remain open. Union members say negotiations with Starbucks management officials have stalled since last year. Well, over the past few years, the southwestern corner of Springfield has seen a lot of new construction with new businesses going up and several more in the works. Tonight, Ozarks First Michael McLaughlin is live on West Sunshine near West Bypass. And Michael, a lot of activity out there, and it just seems to keep ramping up more with this progress.
Yeah, Mike, so I'm live right outside the Dutch Bros Coffee that recently opened, marking its first ever in the city of Springfield. And this is just a continuing trend of growing development alongside West Bypass and West Sunshine Street. Now, this isn't the only opening this month. Just today, Wendy's opened a new location nearby. It will join the new Jersey Mike's, Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, and Olive Garden. All of these opened this year. Across from that is a larger center with various stores like Ross, Petco, Five Below, and the newer addition of Michael's in 2024. A Target is also planned to be developed as part of a new Sunshine Town Center. Financial institution Blue Current is also building a new credit union nearby. Now, all of these restaurants and stores have caused the area to see a larger presence of construction that previously saw little growth compared to other parts of town. This continued development is coinciding with a similar growth in neighboring city, Republic. And that new Target is nearing completion and is expected to open in the next couple months. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Michael McLaughlin, Ozarks First.
Now for a first check of our forecast, Jamie, earlier today in different bouts, folks had some problems seeing because of rainfall. Tonight, there may be some patches of fog out there. It sounds like reducing visibility.
Yeah, it's just damp and cool.
Yeah,
and, you know, this time of the year, oftentimes that's a recipe for some fog. And we're seeing some of that. We're also still seeing quite a bit of rain. Most of this is light, though, but it keeps things wet and it keeps roads wet and slick. And of course, with the reduced visibilities, that also is a bit of a danger. So if you have to travel late tonight or even into the morning hours on Friday, especially the first half of the morning, just be careful. Maybe give yourself a little bit more time to get to your destination because, again, we've got these different things from Mother Nature that are going to be fighting us on the roads. Dense fog advisory is in effect from the Warsaw area southeast to Salem and then south to Melbourne, Arkansas. This is through 9 o'clock in the morning. It may expand a little bit further west. Kind of depends on how visibilities play out. Right now, we're finding our lowest visibilities to the north of Highway 54. Camdenton right now reporting visibilities of a half a mile and 57. 60 in Springfield. We could have a little bit of fog and also some mist to start the day here locally. Mainly cloudy at mid-morning, but peaks of sun by late morning, expecting a partly cloudy and really pretty nice Friday afternoon with highs up near 69 degrees. Again, that's going to be followed by a half and half weekend and then that cold wave that's going to be moving in time for the holidays. Mike?
It feels like fall. Thank you, Jamie. Well, a video from Democratic lawmakers who are also U.S. veterans are making some big waves online after they called on members of the military to defy what they call unlawful orders from the White House. It's also caught the attention and the ire of the president. Connor Hansen has more on that tonight.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders. This is the clip circulating on social media featuring 6 Democrats who served in the military or intelligence community. The lawmakers say the Trump administration is pitting the military against American citizens. President Trump took to Truth Social to condemn the video, writing, quote, "Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." The president then added seditious behavior punishable by death.
He is throwing a match into a country filled with political extreme gasoline. It is dangerous. It is devastating.
Democrats have been critical of the use of the National Guard and U.S. troops in American cities like Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. They're also concerned about recent deadly strikes on alleged drug boats and the military buildup in the South Caribbean.
Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put our military in terrible positions. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait until that happens to remind our troops of their obligation, because then it'll be too late.
The White House is pushing back.
We do things by the books, and to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do.
Levitt says the president does not want anyone to be executed. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And on Capitol Hill, lawmakers revisited the long-running debate over daylight saving time. A House subcommittee holding a hearing on the pros and cons of ending the twice-a-year clock change. The House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee invited stakeholders in the hospitality, leisure, and travel industries to talk about the real-world impacts.
We're talking about standard versus daylight saving time, and daylight saving time is already 8 months of the year. In an ironic way, it is our standard time.
I do believe the evidence is clear. It's time for us to decide on one standard and to just stick with it. But what should that standard be?
You may recall the nation came close to making daylight saving time permanent back in 2022 when the Senate unanimously passed the Sunshine Protection Act, but the House never took up that measure. Well, there's a new center in Springfield that'll be helping homeless people rebuild their lives in a safe place. It's called The New Day, and it's going to begin helping folks next month at its facility on North Campbell downtown. It'll be an outreach of community partnership of the Ozarks. The center will not be an overnight shelter and will only be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. People will be able to have access to showers, laundry machines, and mail services. The facility will also provide a lot of physical and mental health services through classes.
So we're talking everything from meditation to art therapy to music therapy to connections with employment services to different groups and classes and programs. Again, very person-centered.
The O'Reilly Center for Hope will also continue offering assistance for homeless individuals. However, it'll be shifting to a stronger focus on families with little kids. Still ahead, the government's case against former FBI Director James Comey could be on thin ice after a judge had some tough questions for prosecutors, or the case could be thrown out entirely. Well, the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration in the city of Charlotte ramped up. Since launching Operation Charlotte's Web over the weekend, the Department of Homeland Security says it made more than 250 arrests. Critics argue agents are engaging in racial profiling, sparking widespread fear in immigrant communities, but ICE is pushing back against that claim.
Race has nothing to do with this. It's based off of one's immigration status, nothing more, nothing less.
Next up, ICE is expected to take up its operation to the state's capital of Raleigh. The Justice Department, meantime, has its case against former FBI Director James Comey facing a major setback after a federal judge grilled prosecutors over how they handled that indictment. The questioning started after the judge revealed the final version of the indictment was not seen by the entire grand jury. And now Comey's defense wants the case thrown out.
Comey was 3 days from the statute of limitations running, and they don't really get a second bite at the apple if they lose this indictment.
It comes as a challenge is pending, claiming interim U.S. Attorney Lindy Halligan, the lead prosecutor in Comey's case, was put in her position illegally.
The president has nominated people, phenomenal attorneys, to be U.S. attorneys, and you have judges, you have senators who have said, no, we're not even going to talk to them, much less even consider letting them work.
Comey faces 2 counts of lying to Congress. If that case moves forward, his trial is scheduled for January.
Well, coming up, we're looking at a half and half weekend, and we're also looking at a Thanksgiving forecast, which is looking quiet but cold. How does that compare to past Thanksgivings? So look at that in your forecast coming up. Well, it's murky outside right now in parts of the area, and here in Springfield it's a little bit murky, especially just off the surface where we're socked in with clouds. 60 degrees, winds out of the southeast, and it's pretty soupy out there. We've got a dew point right now of 59 and relative humidity of 96%. With conditions like that, with the rain that we've had today, temperatures haven't gone anywhere. We've been sitting at right around 60 to 62 degrees all day long, and I think we're going to sit at about 59 or 60 all night tonight. Rain has overspread once again areas to the north, and it continues in areas to the south. We've had a break here in the Springfield area. Looks like the rain is starting to fill back in from the southwest. You can see how rain extends all the way down into eastern Texas. We've got this fire hose of rain that's directed at the area right now. That fire hose, though, is going to shift east as we slip into Friday, and drier air is going to work in on the underside of this storm by tomorrow morning. What that means is we shut off the rain and we actually open the door for a pretty nice Friday afternoon for some of the area. So looking at our hour-by-hour forecast for the remainder of the night tonight, again, rain through midnight. Really not expecting too much in the way of thunder, if any. I also expect most of the rain to be light, but there could be some pockets of heavier rainfall. By 7 o'clock, it's for the most part lifted out of the area, but we're still going to have clouds left behind and some fog and also some areas of mist, I think. By mid to late morning, we should be punching holes in the clouds over southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. And then in the afternoon, I expect this area to be partly cloudy. Can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but most areas dry. North of Highway 54, though, I think this is a zone that never breaks into sunshine. And there will be showers and temperatures will be cooler in those locations. Looks like, again, temperatures will hold steady tonight. Upper 50s to low 60s. So like Morgan County, Versailles, I think upper 50s to around 60 for a high. Once you get down to the Camdenton area, low 60s, Lebanon, 65. Here in Springfield, close to 70, but south of the state line is where it's at, where we'll find highs in some areas in the mid 70s. Now, overnight Friday night, the clouds build back down to the south. With it will come low cloudiness and some fog, maybe some mist. Looks like that'll persist into part of Saturday morning, and the clouds, I think, in this setup will be very slow to clear out. They'll try to gradually clear out from north to south, but areas to the south especially may never really break into any sunshine on Saturday. That's going to keep temperatures cool there. In fact, area-wide, I think it's going to stay cool with highs generally in the mid to upper 50s. On Sunday, early fog, and it could be dense, giving way to mostly sunny skies and highs in the mid 60s. We get back to work, we get back to wet weather. Another storm system swinging through the middle of the country on Monday. Rain, maybe a little thunder with it, not expecting anything severe. That will sweep through, and on the backside of this thing, a cold front's going to sweep through by Wednesday, and that's going to set us up for a cold Thanksgiving Day. Stuffed with quiet weather, but slow to defrost. Temperatures in the morning starting off in the upper 20s. Afternoon highs, I think, in the upper 40s. Yeah, that's cold, especially compared to what we've had so far this fall, but it could be worse. Back in 1975, a morning low of 7. Back in 1934, 15 inches of snowfall. We're not going to be looking at that, I don't think, this Thanksgiving. Looking at the forecast again through Thanksgiving Day, you can see how temperatures are looking a lot cooler than they've been, Mike. More consistently cool, and I think we're going to find that more consistently cold pattern continuing into December.
You always show those records, and that puts things in perspective. At least it's not going to be 7 that you're
right.
showing right
That's
there.
That's pretty brutal for November.
Exactly. All right, thank you, Jamie. This brings us to our question of the day. Speaking of Thanksgiving, what time do you start your Thanksgiving dinner preparations? There are the options right there on your screen. 1 p.m. has been the winner so far today, so definitely a good time to get things going. Scan the QR code or go to our website, ozarksfirst.com, and let us know what you think. Chris.
Hey, thank you, Mike. Well, next in sports, playing in the moment. Nixon faces its biggest test of the season tomorrow night in the state quarterfinals, but find out why the Eagles aren't feeling the postseason pressure. That's next.
Is sponsored by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks.
Yeah, Jaden McCasker can go the distance every time he touches the ball, and Nixa hopes that continues tomorrow night. Well, you know why? Especially since it's the biggest game of the season for the Eagles, who are making their third consecutive appearance in the Class 6 state quarterfinals. And with that being the case, you know this team is ready to meet the moment, and their opponent, Helias Catholic, too, who got bumped up to Class 6 just this fall after battling it out with Republic in the state tournament the past couple seasons. So for them, this game might be a chance to prove that they belong. Meanwhile, Nix's mindset, it's championship or bust. So they're focused on winning tomorrow night and moving on to the next step.
You know, when you add pressure to yourself, you get worse. You know, when you add tension, when you add stress, I mean, sometimes, you know, your physiological being changes. And if you're going to play a position and you're going to make the play when the play counts, it's got to be another play. We've tried to stress that to our guys, man. Let's just play the next play as hard as we can play it, do everything we can do, and stay even keel. Don't be too high, don't be too low, and just get it done.
You know, that's the exact same message Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are using this week as motivation heading into their Sunday showdown with one of the AFC's best teams, the Indianapolis Colts. They're 9-2. Meanwhile, KC's 5-5 after losing back-to-back close games and right now in jeopardy of potentially missing the playoffs. But the guys know worrying about it just won't help anything. So it's all eyes on slowing down Indy's dynamic attack.
Overall, as a team, I think they got a well-rounded team. Their records show for it. Daniel Jones is playing some really, really good football. Their running back, who could be an MVP front runner. So they've been very efficient with offense. They're like top 5 in a lot of categories. So for us, it's a huge challenge.
All right, look, Cardinals Nation, what's up? Because you know what? If you're a diehard Cardinals fan, waiting for winter to pass is like a form of torture, right? Well, thankfully, you won't have to wait the entire cold season to see your favorite Redbirds. Because if you are bold enough to bundle up and brave the elements, then guess what? You get to meet them on Friday, January 16th, right here in Springfield at the annual Cardinals Caravan. Your first chance to meet the current and former Cardinals players will be at 12:30 at Hammons Field. Or how about 6 p.m. at night at Great Southern Bank Arena during the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions. The yearly tradition will span across 6 states over 4 days, and Springfield gets to host on the very first day. Admission, of course, is free, so make sure to mark your calendars. And finally, the Drury Lady Panthers, well, they had their hands full this morning against Texas A&M International. Pick this up third quarter. Lady Panthers are down 3, not anymore. Josie Story, 3 of her 18 points right there, ties us up at 44 all. And then under 30 seconds to go, Jazz Gray, the bucket and the foul. Nice play there. However, this game had to go to double overtime to figure out who's going to win it, and the Lady Panthers end up getting the victory 81-68. So there you go, guys. All right, little preseason action here before they start the GLVC, and I tell you what, Sunday's going to be fun, but I know for all of us out here, we can't wait for the Cardinals Caravan to come through in January.
A lot of anticipation for that. All right,
of course.
All right, thanks, Chris. We're going to check one more time with our question of the day. Chris, we haven't asked you, what time do you normally start your Thanksgiving preparation, or do you even? Is somebody else taking care of that for you?
Typically, our family holiday starts around between 2 and 3 o'clock back home in Florida. But of course, here, I'll be working the holiday, so hopefully whenever the food arrives, we'll start eating.
Yeah, so 1 p.m., that would be too early for you. That's what most
Just
people
a
do
tad.
right there. So just getting started at that point. So, Jamie, we're waiting for this rain to continue moving through tonight.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it out of here by tomorrow morning, and a lot of the area may see some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Friday. Bye-bye. Well, tonight on Ozarks First News at 10, a nationwide strike has made its way to our metro. What you need to know if you normally get your coffee at the Springfield Starbucks. And it was a rainy day across the Ozarks, making way for some fog in some parts, when you could expect the storms to finally blow out of here and the sun to reemerge. And then what health officials are saying after a link connecting vaccines and autism has been posted to the CDC website. Your news at 10 starts right now.
This is Ozarks First News at 10.
And great to see you here tonight at 10. I'm Mike Landis. Well, over the past few years, the southwest corner of Springfield has seen quite the building boom with a lot of new construction, a lot of it underway right now, and even more stuff in the works. Tonight, Ozarks First Michael McLaughlin is live for us on West Sunshine at West Bypass. Michael, that area of town was quiet for decades. Things have certainly changed out there.
Yeah, Mike, so I'm live right near the new Dutch Bros Coffee that opened up this month, marking the first ever in the city of Springfield. And this is just a continuing trend of growing development along West Bypass and West Sunshine Street. Now, this isn't the only spot to open this month. Just today, Wendy's opened a new location nearby, and that will join the new Jersey Mike's, Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, and Olive Garden, all of which opened this year. Now, across from that is a larger center with various stores like Ross, Petco, Five Below, and the newer addition of Michael's in 2024. A Target is also planned to be developed as a part of the new Sunshine Town Center. Financial institution Blue Current is also building a new credit union nearby. Now, all of these restaurants and stores have caused the area to see a larger presence of construction in a place that previously saw little growth compared to other parts of town. And this continued development is coinciding with a similar growth in neighboring city, Republic. And as for that new Target, that is nearing completion and is expected to be done in the next couple months. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Michael McLaughlin, Ozarks First.
All right, thank you, Michael. There's a new wave of unionized Starbucks baristas joining the picket lines in Springfield for a fair contract. You may have noticed them out there as you're going in for your morning commute. Union members of the Battlefield Road location are now part of the 95 stores in 65 cities nationwide, taking part in the so-called Red Cup Rebellion, with over 2,000 members participating across the country in this strike.
The baristas behind the scenes are incredibly overworked and understaffed every single day. We are working with skeleton crews of 3 partners when there are tons and tons of drinks rolling through. We deserve better, and Starbucks can give us better.
Union members say negotiations with Starbucks management officials have stalled out since last year. We can tell you the store does remain open during the strike. We spoke to the company earlier regarding the strike, and they gave us a statement. You can find that on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Now for our first look at our forecast here at 10:03 with a live look from our camera in Ozark. You can see some patchy fog certainly filling some areas, making visibility a little different out there. But we are finally getting some of this much needed rain. We're going to check in with Jamie in the forecast center. Jamie, it seems like everybody today has gotten at least something, and it's going to keep coming for a little bit.
Yeah, we've right now we're seeing the rain kind of fill back in over southwest Missouri. We had seen the rain stop for a time. Now it's started back up. Most of this rain that we see across the area is light, but it is a steady rainfall. And there are some pockets of heavier rain showing up to the south, moving across northwest Arkansas. Fog is probably going to be an issue, especially for our eastern counties, areas up to the north from, say, Lake of the Ozarks, southeast down to Eminence, south through West Plains, Melbourne. This whole area under a dense fog advisory through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and that is where we find our lowest visibilities at this time. But with these low clouds trying to build closer to the surface, we may at times see visibilities drop even further west overnight tonight. Temperatures, they're stuck. They're not moving. We're sitting at 60 right now. That's about where we're going to be for the rest of the night tonight. That's where we start off tomorrow. And I think we start off also with cloudy skies, maybe some fog and mist, and then by late morning, peaks of sunshine. And it looks like for southern Missouri and northern Arkansas, a partly cloudy afternoon with temperatures warming into the upper 60s and even 70s, especially down across northern Arkansas. Looking ahead, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a half and half weekend and a wet Monday, followed by a colder Turkey Day. Mike?
I think a key thing is that we can say, the scientific consensus is that vaccines don't cause autism. But we don't know exactly what does cause autism.
Well, health leaders say a page on the CDC website has been changed to include a false claim about autism and vaccines. CBS News correspondent Gwen Belgum-Gardner has those details tonight.
The CDC vaccine safety webpage was updated to say the statement, vaccines do not cause autism, is not an evidence-based claim. Wednesday's change raised concern among health experts and advocates who say there is no connection between vaccines and the neurodevelopmental condition.
It's felt to be from probably a combination of genetics. More than 100 genes have been linked to autism, and then probably or possibly the environment or other factors. We really don't know for sure.
In a statement, the Autism Science Foundation said it was appalled by the change on the CDC webpage, adding it is, quote, now filled with anti-vaccine rhetoric and outright lies about vaccines and autism. The updated page does not cite new research. Instead, it says that past studies supporting a link have been ignored by health authorities. Vaccine skeptics, including Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., have long said there is a link between vaccines and autism.
I think a key thing is that we can say, the scientific consensus is that vaccines don't cause autism. But we don't know exactly what does cause autism.
The claim that vaccines cause autism was ignited by a 1998 study in The Lancet, a prestigious British journal which retracted the study 12 years later. Health and Human Services tells CBS News that Secretary Kennedy has launched a comprehensive review of the causes of autism and called the changes to the website, quote, a common sense upgrade. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News.
Well, President Trump says he signed legislation late Wednesday to release the Epstein files, despite victims saying they want to be present for that. The bills give the Attorney General 1 month to produce unclassified and investigative documents related to Epstein, a convicted sex offender and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell.
And we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
We think every name should come out, everything. There should be no cover-up.
The legislation includes a provision that allows the DOJ to temporarily withhold information that could jeopardize any active federal investigation. And the Department of Justice's case against former FBI Director James Comey could be facing a major hurdle. A federal judge is raising concerns about how the federal government presented the case to a grand jury, questioning whether lawyers presented the eventual charges.
If you're going to charge somebody through a grand jury indictment, the grand jury and the grand jurors are to review the charging document. What was revealed today on the record, what was suspected for many days prior, is that the charging document used in the case against James Comey was changed or edited or adjusted, and that maybe only the grand jury foreperson saw the revisions.
And that hearing intended to consider whether charges against Comey were brought as an act of vindictive or selective retribution on the part of President Trump. We have more news to share with you, so don't forget to follow us on social media. You see the icons right there because we are on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And don't forget to download our Ozarks First news and weather apps to stay on top of everything going on in your communities across the area. Still to come here tonight at 10, we're introducing you to this Marshfield couple and sharing their interesting story about how their daughter was born in an unexpected location.
And it looks like we're going to find some murky weather like we're finding tonight at times through this upcoming weekend. Fog could be an issue Saturday morning and also Sunday morning. A look at that and the changes to our pattern as we head toward Thanksgiving in your forecast coming up.
This is Ozarks First News at 10 with Mike Landis, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warrener, and Sports with Dan Lucy.
Well, it's been a wet, cool day from start to finish. Outside right now, it looks like the deck of clouds has actually risen a little bit. About an hour ago, we were socked in with low cloudiness, at least at the level that the camera is at, and it's on our tower, so it's about 180 feet off the ground. 60 degrees, fully saturated, 100% relative humidity at this hour. That is one of the reasons why those clouds keep building down toward the surface. Looking at temperature trends throughout the day today, temperatures really didn't move very much. And that's going to happen this time of the year, especially when it's wet and it's cloudy. Temperatures today generally within about 4 degrees, 59 as a low for the day, at least during the day. And then 62 for the afternoon high or daytime high. Looking at rain across the area right now, it's light for the most part, but it's steady. And you can see this little pocket really filling in now. This is the break that we've had here in Springfield and Nixa and Ozark over the past couple of hours, but rain is spreading back in from the southwest, and it's going to pick up here shortly. You can see how that rain extends down to the south into eastern Texas. The core of the storm now making its way across the Texas Panhandle. Out ahead of it, there's your fire hose of rain directed right toward the Ozarks right now. By tomorrow, it will be directed toward the Tennessee Valley. We're actually going to find drier air working in on the underside of the storm into southwest Missouri and northern Arkansas. And that is going to shut off the rain by morning for the most part. And it's also going to open the door for some sunshine later in the morning and through the afternoon. Looking at our hour-by-hour forecast, again, socked in with wet weather at midnight tonight. I think along about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, the back edge of the rain starts to push northeast across the area, and it looks like most of the steady rain has moved out of our area to start the day on Friday. But it's still going to be damp, and there still could be some fog and some areas of mist. That should give way to, I think, mostly cloudy skies by late morning, and then partly cloudy skies, at least over southern Missouri and northern Arkansas for the afternoon hours. Once you get to about Highway 54, that appears to be the cutoff. Highway 54 and north, I don't think we really get into any sunshine. I think we're going to find cloudy skies start to finish tomorrow, and showers will persist also. And that's where temperatures are going to be coolest on Friday. Temperatures stuck for now. For Friday, they will remain stuck, I think, here where, again, the clouds persist. Upper 50s to low 60s north of Highway 54. Here in Springfield, I think we get close to 70. Meanwhile, to the south, near and south of the state line, highs in the low to mid 70s. Another nice November day. That area of clouds will build south again Friday night. With it will come some fog and mist. That's how we start the day Saturday. And I think Saturday is going to be one of those days where it's really tough to get rid of those clouds. But there should be some gradual clearing from north to south as we work at least through the afternoon hours. Temperatures on Saturday, though, will feel the impact of that lingering cloud cover and damp conditions. I think we're looking at highs in the 50s, somewhere probably in the mid 50s to maybe upper 50s at best. And then on Sunday, I again think we'll see some fog to start the day, but I think we'll transition to mostly sunny skies pretty quickly, and we'll get into the mid 60s for highs. Early next week, storm blows through on Monday. Rain, a little bit of thunder, not expecting any severe weather. And then on the backside of that storm, we'll have a cold front come through, and that will usher in some winter cold in time for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I expect to start off in the upper 20s, highs in the upper 40s. We'll be stuffed with quiet weather, but slow to defrost. And there's your 7-day forecast and how we get from here to there on Thanksgiving Day. And it looks, Mike, like that will kind of be the new norm. I think we'll have less in the way of these mild spells that we've been enjoying throughout so far the month of November.
Yeah.
And we're going to find more cold spells as we work through the end of the month and into December.
I was just saying, it just does not feel like the holidays are around the corner, but I bet you after feeling the temperatures on Thanksgiving, it's going to feel like it's
I think we may be missing the weather that we've had the last few weeks.
I bet so.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jamie. Along those lines, our question of the night is, what time do you start making your Thanksgiving dinner? There are all the options right there, and 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock have been the top contenders right there. Popular times to get things going for your supper. Go ahead and scan that QR code or go to our website, ozarksfirst.com/vote. Let us know what you think, and we'll have those numbers for you as we add those up at the end of the show tonight.
It's going to be fun on her birth certificate. It's going to say location, the Buc-ee's.
Well, a couple from Marshfield is sharing this unforgettable birth story after they had their baby in the parking lot of Buc-ee's in East Springfield. Nathan and Jenna Birdsong live out in rural Webster County, and when contractions started for Mom last Friday, they started to make their way to Cox South Hospital. But when the contractions started to intensify and her water broke, they knew they weren't going to quite make it to town in time. So they pulled off of I-44 into Buc-ee's, into the parking lot, and within minutes, baby Elena Grace Birdsong was born at 3:16 a.m.
She looked at me and said, "We need to call 911. I was like, "Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it." I was like, "We're going to end up at Buc-ee's. That's the next exit up here." By the time I got on the off-ramp, she transitioned me, the dispatcher, to a Mercy representative so I could start taking account for all the her giving advice for the birth.
All right, and you can see there Mom, Dad, and baby doing just fine tonight. Now to hear Dad explain how he was coached by a medical expert over the phone and hear them reflect on that extraordinary moment, you can check out our full conversation with them at ozarsfirst.com. And this season, we are putting the Ozarks first, and we could use your help doing so. At Springfield's Hy-Vee locations, you can find donation barrels and scan-to-donate options to help local families in need these holidays. Every dollar donated provides 4 meals, with all the proceeds going right to Ozarks Food Harvest. To help out, you can scan the QR code on your screen. You can also visit our website, ozarsfirst.com. And you can also help Ozarks First honor remarkable women who make a difference in our community. To nominate someone you know, you can scan that QR code and head to the website. Winners will be heading to Nashville, where one will be named Nextstar's Remarkable Woman of the Year, and that winner will be awarded a $25,000 donation to the nonprofit of their choice. Well, the holidays are upon us, and the Ozark Christmas Parade is being hosted this weekend for its 60th year. It's happening on Saturday, November the 22nd in the historic downtown Ozark Square at 5:30. Other Christmas festivities will start at 2 in Santa Village. You can find more details on our website at ozarsfirst.com and our news app. Still ahead here tonight, we're learning more about that plane crash that killed more than a dozen people in Louisville. What investigators are saying is to blame for that tragedy.
Coming up tomorrow after daybreak on Unscripted, Angela Hudson will join us to create another delicious dish made with items found at Lisa V's Food Pantry.
And we'll visit with TV star Tori Spelling about how her and her daughter are helping others with a new treatment for those living with severe eczema. See you bright and early tomorrow morning after daybreak.
And we have an update on that UPS plane crash that happened in Kentucky earlier this month, killing 14 people. Investigators now say the plane had cracks in the left wing's engine mount, releasing photos that you see right there of the engine flying off during takeoff, leading to that explosive crash just seconds later. The NTSB says the plane needed to complete 7,000 more flights before those parts would have been due for another inspection. Well, hundreds of mourners gathering at Washington's National Cathedral to pay their final respects to former Vice President Dick Cheney today. Former Presidents Joe Biden and George W. Bush attended along with former vice presidents, 4 of them.
He knew you couldn't truly appreciate what it means to live in freedom if you didn't understand the sacrifices of the generations who came before. And he made sure that his children and grandchildren understood this too.
We are grateful for his good life. We honor his service. And we pray that somewhere up the trail, we will meet him again.
Well, the White House says President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance were not invited. A senior White House official says President Trump has signed off on that 28-point plan to end the war that Russia started in Ukraine 4 years ago. But European leaders say any plan formed without Ukraine's involvement is a non-starter.
This is up to Ukraine. It's about Ukrainian territory. It's about Ukrainian sovereignty.
And we believe that it should be acceptable to both sides, and we're working very hard to get it done.
The plan calls for Ukraine to give up some weapons, shrink its army, and give up land to Russia, something Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has long said he will not do. Well, after being delayed by the government shutdown, a look at September's jobs report is raising concerns and questions about the economy's direction. That report shows employers added 119,000 jobs in September, more than double expectations and the strongest growth since April. But Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says there's more to those numbers.
119,000 jobs would have been considered somewhat lackluster when the economy was going great guns, when we were getting 200,000, 250,000 jobs added a month, when we considered the job market to be red hot.
And a mixed bag there, with the unemployment rate rising to 4.4%, which is the highest since 2021, all of which will factor into the Federal Reserve's upcoming decision on interest rates. There's a brand new facility in Springfield opening soon to help those struggling with homelessness rebuild their lives in a safe place. New Day will be an outreach of Community Partnership of the Ozarks. It opens up on December on North Campbell in downtown. The facility will be open Monday through Friday from 9 to noon and 1 to 4 p.m. Homeless people will have access to showers, laundry machines, and mail services. It'll also be hosting classes to provide physical and mental health services.
So we're talking everything from meditation to art therapy to music therapy to connections with employment services to different groups and classes and programs. Again, very person-centered.
Community Partnership tells us it'll continue offering help for those in need at the O'Reilly Center for Hope, but it'll be shifting to a stronger focus on families with kids.
Next in sports, playing in the moment. Nixon faces its strongest test of the season tomorrow night in the state quarterfinals. We'll find out why the Eagles aren't feeling the postseason pressure. That's next.